You just fasted for 16 hours, and in the next 10 minutes, you're about to undo all of it. Here's the thing. Most people think fasting is the hard part, the discipline, the willpower, the not eating. But the science says the moment you break your fast is actually what determines whether you lose fat or gain it. By the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why eating speed matters more than you think, and how one simple habit change can protect everything you just worked for. So let me paint a picture. You've been fasting. You've been good. You've been drinking your black coffee and sparkling water like a responsible little faster. And now it's time to eat. What do most people do? They absolutely demolish that first meal like a golden retriever who just discovered the trash can is open. Fork moving at the speed of light, barely chewing, food disappearing like a magic trick. And it feels earned, right? You suffered. You were hungry. This is your reward. But here's what's actually happening inside your body while you're speed running that meal. Your gut has these hormones called GLP-1, PYY, and cholecystokinin. Don't worry about the names. Just know these are your fullness hormones. They're the signals that tell your brain, hey, we've had enough. You can stop eating now. But here's the problem. These hormones take about 20 to 30 minutes to kick in. They're released when food hits your intestines. Then they have to travel through your bloodstream. Then they have to signal your brain. It's not instant. It's more like sending a letter through the mail than sending a text message. So when you eat a meal in 5 to 10 minutes, you've consumed all your food before your brain even gets the memo that you started eating. You're basically eating with your eyes closed, hormonally speaking. Your body has no idea how much you've had because the fullness signals haven't arrived yet. A study had people eat the exact same meal 2 different ways. One group ate it in 5 minutes. The other group ate it in 30 minutes. Same food, same calories available. The slow eaters had significantly higher levels of PYY and GLP-1, the fullness hormones, for hours after the meal. But here's the wild part. The fast eaters who were obese, their bodies didn't release GLP-1 at all. The hormone just didn't show up. Their satiety signaling was completely broken by eating too fast. And this translates directly to calories consumed. Research found that when people eat quickly versus slowly, they consume about 88 extra calories per meal. Same food available, just eaten faster. 88 calories might not sound like much, but do that twice a day, and you're looking at over 60,000 extra calories per year. That's roughly 17 pounds of fat, from eating speed alone. A massive study tracking over 465,000 people found that fast eaters had 54% higher odds of metabolic syndrome, 54% higher odds of central obesity, that's the dangerous belly fat, and were more than twice as likely to be obese overall compared to slow eaters. An 8-year study in Japan followed people over time and found that fast-eating men gained almost triple the weight of slow eaters, 1.9 kilograms versus 0.7 kilograms. And this was after controlling for age, BMI, drinking, smoking, and exercise. Eating speed was an independent predictor of weight gain. Now here's where it gets especially relevant for intermittent fasters. After you've been fasting for 16 or more hours, your hunger hormone ghrelin is elevated. Your body is primed to eat. Your willpower is depleted from resisting food all day. And your insulin sensitivity is heightened, which sounds good, but actually means your body responds more dramatically to incoming glucose. This creates a perfect storm for fast eating. You're hungrier than normal, you're more likely to eat quickly, and your body is going to react more intensely to whatever you put in it. When researchers measured blood glucose responses to identical meals eaten at different speeds, the results were dramatic. Eating quickly produced glucose spikes that were 26 to 41% higher than eating slowly. At dinner, fast eating literally doubled the glucose area under the curve compared to slow eating. Same exact food, double the blood sugar response. Why does this matter for fat loss? Because higher glucose spikes trigger higher insulin secretion, and insulin is literally the hormone that tells your body to store fat and stop burning it. So you fasted all day to keep insulin low and burn fat. Then you broke your fast so quickly that you spiked insulin harder than if you'd just eaten normally. It's like training for a marathon and then taking an Uber for the last mile. Technically you finished, but you kind of missed the point. But wait, there's more. And I promise this is actually good news. There's something called diet-induced thermogenesis. It's the calories your body burns just processing food. And it turns out eating speed dramatically affects this. A study found that when people chewed and tasted their food slowly, they burned more than double the calories processing the meal compared to when they consumed the same calories quickly. The slow eaters burned 7.4 calories over 90 minutes versus 3.4 calories for the fast eaters. The mechanism involves something called histamine secretion from prolonged chewing, which activates brown fat and increases blood flow to your digestive system. So eating slowly doesn't just help you eat less, it helps you burn more of what you do eat. It's a double win. And here's something most fasters don't know about: the second meal effect. Your first meal after breaking a fast doesn't just affect that meal. It programs your metabolic response to every meal that follows. Research shows that a low glycemic, high protein first meal produces significantly lower glucose responses at lunch and dinner, even when those later meals are identical to what other people eat. So if you break your fast slowly with protein and fiber, you're setting yourself up for better blood sugar control all day. But if you break your fast quickly with simple carbs, you're starting a metabolic domino effect that makes every subsequent meal worse. Your first meal is basically the opening act that determines how the whole concert goes. Okay, so what do you actually do with this information? Number 1, extend your first post-fast meal to at least 20 minutes. Set a timer if you have to. I know it feels weird at first, but your hormones literally need this time to do their job. Think of it as giving your satiety signals time to arrive at the party. Number 2, chew each bite 30 times. I know that sounds excessive. I know you're going to feel like a cow at first. But research shows that chewing 40 times versus 15 times reduced hunger for up to 3 hours after meals. A 6-month study where people just increased their chewing resulted in decreased body fat, lower BMI, and better fasting blood sugar. From chewing more. That's it. Number 3, put your fork down between bites. This sounds simple, but it's surprisingly hard. Most of us are already loading up the next bite while we're still chewing the current one. We're like a food assembly line. Putting the fork down forces a natural pause and extends the meal without requiring constant willpower. Number 4, start your meal with protein and fiber, not carbs. This slows gastric emptying, reduces the glucose spike, and takes advantage of the second meal effect. Save the carbs for later in the meal after you've already got some protein and fiber in your stomach acting as a buffer. Number 5, choose foods that require actual chewing. Soft, processed foods can be inhaled without effort, but a chicken breast, raw vegetables, whole nuts, these foods force you to slow down mechanically. It's a passive intervention. You don't have to think about it. The food just naturally takes longer to eat. And number 6, drink water during your meal. This adds volume, forces pauses, and helps with the mechanical breakdown of food. Plus, most people are mildly dehydrated after fasting anyway. Here's the bottom line. You've already done the hard work. You fasted. You were disciplined. You created the metabolic conditions for fat burning. But that first 20 minutes after breaking your fast is where the results are actually realized or lost. When you eat too fast, you bypass your satiety hormones, consume 88 plus extra calories before you even feel full, spike your blood sugar 40% higher than necessary, store more fat, burn fewer calories digesting your food, and set yourself up for worse glucose responses at every meal that follows. When you eat slowly, you let your fullness hormones actually do their job. Eat less without feeling deprived, keep your blood sugar stable, burn more calories through thermogenesis, and prime your metabolism for better handling of food. All day long. Same food, same fast, completely different outcome, all because of how fast you ate. The fasting community obsesses over eating windows and hours fasted and what breaks a fast. But almost nobody talks about eating speed, and the research says it might matter just as much as any of that. So next time you break your fast, slow down, chew your food, give your body the 20 minutes it needs to actually register what you're eating. You work too hard to undo it all with a 7-minute feeding frenzy. If this changed how you think about breaking your fast, hit that subscribe button. I drop videos every week breaking down the science that actually moves the needle. Not trends, not hype, just what works. I'll see you in the next one.